How you doing, YouTube? Now with Massive Beer Reviews, back with yet another review. A little bit of crushable, hopeful goodness. Jersey-born hopeful goodness. Northeast IPA hopeful goodness. In the form of Cape May Brewing, it is their always ready Northeastern style IPA. Cape May. Limited exposure to them. I've had a couple of their beers. I don't know if I've actually reviewed anything from them. I might have reviewed one thing. I don't think so, though. But I've had a couple things from them. Being that I'm relatively close to Jersey, I can get some of their things, but they're down in Cape May, which is quite a bit south in Jersey, so I don't see their stuff up north, typically where I'm at. But I've been to kind of work stuff down by Atlantic City and stuff like that, so I've had some of their stuff on draft. And probably the most impactful thing I've had from them so far was about a year ago, give or take. A good high school friend of mine ended up getting married. And I went to his wedding, and he picked up a beer by these guys. He actually ended up getting married in Cape May. Had a kind of second reception up here in Pennsylvania. I wasn't actually at the wedding. I couldn't make it. But I went to the second reception, and he bought a sour beer from Cape May Brewing and saved it for the wedding. We cracked it there, and it was pretty fucking tasty. So super excited to give it a whirl. This comes courtesy of Cape May. They sent me off a box of stuff the other day, so thanks very much, guys. But yeah, let's dive into it, see what she's got. As far as what it says on the can, Cape May Brewing Company. It's their Northeast Pale Ale. Always ready, intensely aromatic and crushable. So modest. On the back here it says Cape May is home to the Coast Guard. We salute those who are always ready with a juicy Northeast Pale Ale. With the addition of wheat and oats for a medium body, with brilliant aromatics of tropical fruits like pineapple, mango, and citrus zest, this lush hot bomb is always ready. Crafted on the Cape. And that's pretty much it. Just brewery information, stuff like that. Label-wise, I dig it. You know, it doesn't blow me away, but there's something about the art design that just works for me. But they definitely hit all the trigger points on here. You're talking about juicy, you're talking about aromatic, you're talking about, tropical. They're definitely throwing all the words out there, those kind of words that everybody wants to see in today's day and world. You don't see it a lot in these little 12-ounce cans, but yeah, there you go. Throw this into a glass and see what she's got. Now, here's the thing. First things first. I'm super pumped because they're talking about doing a style which I can get down with if it's done exactly the way I like it. But two, it's sub 5%. So throwing out there a nice, hopefully hazy, juicy, tropical, crushable New England style IPA at sub 5 is kind of what I'm all about, baby. So here we go. 2.5 fingers, or 2.5, almost 2 fingers of, nice creaminess to it. Deep beveling kind of creaminess to it, kind of neurotic bubbles throughout. Just off white head, and it's got a soft haze to her. Nothing too crazy. She's definitely hazy, but you can see through her. You probably may or may not be able to see my kind of finger through that semi-opaqueness in there. But yeah, definitely looks the part of a hazy beer. Not the most dense, turbid thing in the history of mankind, but looks do not a good beer make. Let's see what the nose has. Now, we're talking about being a kind of crushable, aromatic, very intenseful, how they put it, intensely aromatic and crushable, as they would put it. It has a really nice nose on it. Is it intensely aromatic? No, but it has a really nice kind of fruity, juicy, leaning nose. I would actually go more kind of tropical fruit with a little bit of peaches on here, more than like a just straight up mango kind of tropical fruit thing they're talking about on the can. But it's juicy nonetheless. Not super in your face, not overly sweet, which is a nice thing too. It just has this really nice, beautiful, gentle, yet impactful, very kind of fruit-laden nose. A nice sweetness to it. There's a little bit of a generic bittering in there, but you can't really detect what it is. You just know it's kind of there. Off to a good start. Let's dive right in. Cheers. It's tasty. It's tasty, but it's definitely bitter leaning. It's not as balanced in the sweetness department as I'd love it to be. It's got a nice mouthfeel to it. It's not super dense. There's a bit of leaning more thinner than thick, but at the same time a nice mouthfeel to it. You definitely get those kind of fruit vibes that you're getting in the nose in the taste, but it ends up coming off way more rindy, way more pithy, way more bittering than you expect based off of the nose. And kind of like where I'd want it to land. I'd like a little bit more sweetness or drop that bittering down a little bit more to kind of make it like crushable for me. But it's a tasty beer. Definitely has that bittering thing going on, which I think is a good thing. So many of these New England style beers tend to be so freaking sweet that have zero bittering going on. That there's zero balance. But for this, I just wish it was a little bit sweeter, a little bit less bitter. It would just work for me. More sweeter than a little less bitter, because I think the bittering is fine. I just think there was a little bit more sweetness to it. It'd be nice. Now you're talking about 4.8%. You know, that's kind of where that mathematics kind of thing comes into play. It's kind of hard to get that to work, but some breweries do it. But it's pretty tasty beer. It's also a thing where you're talking about sub 5%. This is going to be a beer I want to be a crusher. Something that I want to drink 19 of. On a sunny day at Cape May or wherever the hell I am, I want to crush a bunch of these. And while I think a couple of these would do me proper, that bitterness is so big, I think it would wear a little bit on my palate and just end up being just a little bit too bitter to be a session beer. So I'm not necessarily calling it poopy by any sense of the word. I just say it's the crushable portion of the show doesn't work for me. But all in all, the nose is fantastic. It comes off pretty damn well. So they're definitely footing the bill there, label-wise, as far as the nose goes. I just think it ends up being a little bit more bitter, and I like the bitter. I like the balance. I'm not one of those people that just wants a no-bittered kind of hazy New England style IPA. Just the bittering's a little bit too big for me to kind of go gaga over it. But in general, pretty damn tasty stuff. One of the better, lower ABV hop forward beers that I have had come out of Jersey. I like anybody else. I like my boat. I like my beach. I like some of the lower ABV stuff that Kane has done, but there's a lot of people that have done stuff that has kind of been a little bit kind of, for the lack of a better word, wonky for me in the lower ABV realm, especially from these Jersey breweries doing the hop forward stuff. This one kind of sits into that realm of a beer, just below those breweries, though. That's what I mean. Like the I would put the boats and the whatever. What's Kane's one? Is it Sneak Box? I think that one's a little higher ABV, but you know what I mean. It's in that realm of those boat-based beers. But at the same time, it just, I wish there was a little bit more sweetness. I'm regurgitating the same thing over and over again. So let's cut to the chase. This is one of the better low ABV, sub 5%. Hazy IPAs or IPAs that I've had as of late. I want to really put it in there. It's not out, it's not in, it's right tone the line. Let's put it that way. There's ones I definitely put in front of it. First and foremost, Photon comes to mind from Equilibrium. That's like the end all be all when it comes to that. There's another one I just had, and I don't know why it slipped in my mind. I just had a sub 5% beer that just totally did it for me. It might have been one of the Cloudwater beers. There's ones that have really done it for me. Bissell has made one. There's a couple companies that have really kind of dialed in these sub 5% kind of hop forward beers. And this is kind of just below those as far as some of my favorite. Value and availability, I don't know. Maybe somebody out there in the South Jersey land can chime in on this and leave you with, if you like, what will you like this? If you like your kind of hazy hop forward beers, but you like them to skew bitter, because that's where you're going to get there. You get that juiciness, kind of haziness from the beer, both in the nose and the mouthfeel and the taste, but at the same time, you're going to lean bittering in this. So if you like your kind of mango rindiness or your kind of citrus skinniness, pithiness, then this is definitely going to be up your alley. So there you go. Another review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you didn't, anywhere in between, down there, words and stuff and things. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Untapped, Massive Beers. All four of those places if you want to check me out there. You could also just go into the Googs and type in Beer Massif, MASSIF, or .com or podcast apting, is that a word? And find me in the podcasting realms. Doing much different stuff than I'm doing here review-wise, but beer-related nonetheless. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully enjoying a nice little sub 5% little haze bomb right now. Hope to see you next time. Cheers.